boys and girls, our activating strategy is this word splash over here. A word splash is when you throw a whole bunch of words together that revolve around a similar topic. So this is a word splash that is all about Thanksgiving. So you're going to look at this word splash and you're going to discuss some of these questions below with an adult or a sibling. Look at the word splash. Which words stand out? Think about, why do you think those words stand out? And which words do you think are important? So you're going to look. I see happy holidays. I see holiday, together. I see turkey. Think about why those words are on that word splash. Our global awareness. The Mayflower set sail on September 16th, 1620, and finally landed on November 21st, 1620. It's actually 65 days and not 66, so I'm going to fix that. That is 65 days at sea. So your essential question, how are national holidays connected to our history? So today you are going to compare and contrast your Thanksgiving with the first Thanksgiving. Our vocabulary, we have Thanksgiving. North America, Pilgrims, which we've talked a whole lot about. Native Americans, we've talked about them too. Food and feast. This is our first video, the first Thanksgiving. Click the picture below to watch and learn about the first Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving, the class is sharing what we're... I'm thankful for our family, our dad, and soccer. Thanksgiving is a holiday when family and friends celebrate over a feast or a big meal. It's a time to be thankful and appreciate each other. Good question, Moby. To understand why we celebrate Thanksgiving, you first need to know about the Wampanoag, a group of native people. Who are the Wampanoag? The Wampanoag are made up of different tribes. For thousands of years, they've lived in the area that is now Massachusetts and Rhode Island. When Europeans arrived in the 1500s, the tribes traded with them. Then, the Europeans forced some Wampanoag men into slavery. One of the men was Tisquantum, who was also known as Squanto. You're right, Moby. It was a tough time for the Wampanoag, and things got even tougher. The European explorers brought a disease that the native people couldn't cure. Many Wampanoag got sick, and over half of the population died. Then, in 1620, a ship called the Mayflower arrived on Wampanoag lands. The people on board were from England, and they had left their homes to settle in America. Why did the settlers leave England? In the early 1600s, a group of people in England disagreed with the church and the government. They wanted to leave the country and start their own colony. A colony is a place where people settle far from home. There was already a colony in America called Jamestown, in what is now Virginia, so they headed that way. They sailed on the Mayflower and landed in a place they called Plymouth. It's in the area that is now Massachusetts. Today we call these settlers Pilgrims. Well, they didn't really dress that way, Moby. Over time, people created and shared artwork of the Pilgrims that wasn't really accurate or true. What happened when the Pilgrims landed in Plymouth? The settlers arrived in winter, and many had gotten sick on the voyage. They were cold, tired, and unprepared for the weather. They didn't have enough food, so they stole from a Wampanoag storage pit. I know, Moby, it wasn't right, Massasoit Usanequin was the sachem of the Wampanoag. A sachem is a leader. The word Massasoit means great sachem or great leader. Massasoit Usanequin met with John Carver, the governor of Plymouth Colony. They agreed to keep peace and protect and help each other. Squanto, the Wampanoag who was forced into slavery, had made his way back home. He spoke English and taught the Pilgrims how to grow crops. He also showed them around the area. One day, the Wampanoag heard loud noises coming from the Plymouth Colony. Massasoit Usanequin and a large group of men went to see if the settlers needed help. Turns out, they were having a feast to celebrate the harvest. The Wampanoag and the settlers decided to join together, but there wasn't enough food. So the Wampanoag hunted and brought more food so there'd be enough for everyone. The feast lasted 3 days. They ate seafood, squash, berries, nuts, and venison, which is deer meat. There was peace between the Wampanoag and the settlers for a while. Then, more settlers moved onto Wampanoag land and created laws that were not fair to the native people. Eventually, war broke out. In the end, the settlers won and forced the Wampanoag to leave their homes. The native people had to dress, pray, and live like the settlers. Over time, people began a tradition of sharing a big meal in the fall, similar to the one had by the Wampanoag and Pilgrims. In 1863, President Abraham Lincoln made Thanksgiving an official holiday. He hoped it would bring people together in peace during the Civil War. Now we celebrate Thanksgiving on the 4th Thursday of November. How do we celebrate Thanksgiving today? Every family has their own Thanksgiving traditions and foods. A lot of families eat turkey and stuffing, mashed potatoes, green beans, and pumpkin pie. But each family is different. Americans come from all over the world, and many families share food from their cultures to celebrate Thanksgiving. Rosie's family is from Guatemala, and they always eat tamales on Thanksgiving. Priscilla is from the Philippines, and their feast includes lumpia, a roll filled with meat and vegetables. No matter what people eat, Thanksgiving is about spending time together. It's also a time to remember our past. Today, the Wampanoag and Native people across the country gather on Thanksgiving to remember their ancestors and the challenges they faced. It's just as important to understand our history as it is to appreciate all the important things in our lives. What are you thankful for, Moby? Spoons, cabbages, boogers,
Ew.
and Tim? Tim? But what about me? Or Grandpop, or Mia?
Hey, Moby, ready to go out and play? Oh, hi, Annie.
Ew, Moby said he was thankful for boogers.
Yucky.
Gross. Okie dokie. So now this says, click the picture below to watch another video about the first Thanksgiving.
The first Thanksgiving started in England with the Pilgrims. The Pilgrims was a bunch of people who wear bell buckles on their head. They came to America because they wanted to go to a church, but the King of England wouldn't let them. We tied it with your religion. religious persecution, King James. What are you going to do about it? We're going to America where we can practice our religion freely. Whatever. They went on a big ship called the Mayflower and went to America.
What do you think they did when they're on their boat?
Play dominoes or something, or chess. It took the Pilgrims a really long time to get to America, but they finally got to America in 1620.
How long do you think it took them to cross the ocean?
8 days. 4 months. 100 days. But when they got there, they were out of food and it was snowing. Did you bring blankets? No. Me neither. We should have had a plan before we came here. I think I have hypothermia. The Native Americans helped the Pilgrims get to the cold. Hello, Englishman. I am Squatto. Perhaps we should strike a treaty between our peoples. Good idea. Here, this is maize. No, that's corn. They show the Pilgrims how to grow crops, how to hunt, and how to dance.
And what else do you think they taught them?
Girl stuff like flowers. How to learn bicycles. And how to shop, I think. They didn't teach them how to fish. The Pilgrims was really happy now that they wasn't dying. They decided to have a big party to thank the Native Americans. They even invited Chief Massasoit, the leader of the tribe. Welcome to our banquet, Chief Massasoit. Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving. That's what we're calling it. Cool. I bet there'll never be problems between the Englishmen and the Native Americans ever again. They had turkey, fruits and vegetables, deer, and pumpkin pie.
You know, they actually didn't have pumpkin pie at the first Thanksgiving.
What? The feast was a shining example of our spirit. That's why we still celebrate Thanksgiving. I'm hungry.
So that was the kids' explanation about the first Thanksgiving. So now it is your turn. You are going to complete the double bubble map, comparing your Thanksgiving to the Thanksgiving that the Pilgrims and Native Americans celebrated. I want you to tell me at least 3 things that they ate at their Thanksgiving, 3 things that you eat at your Thanksgiving. They have to be different. You can't say the same thing on the outside. And then in the middle, you need to tell me 2 things that are the same about these 2 celebrations. I might say people gather together. That would be a great thing that we could write in the middle, because at your Thanksgiving and at the first Thanksgiving, a lot of people might come together. And last but not least, you need to record yourself answering this higher order thinking question. It says, if you could bring something to the first Thanksgiving, what would you bring? And then explain. Tell me why you would bring that. So you can pick anything food-wise that you would want to bring to the first Thanksgiving, and tell me why you would want to bring that. Have a great day.